again and welcome back to the channel. So today I have another Valaverse Action Force figure review for you. This time it's Trigger. So I picked up Trigger from Action Figure Industries, a distributor here in Australia. Paid $49 for him plus shipping, so a little bit on the steep side, but you know, that's pretty much standard these days. And it was nice to actually have a distributor in Australia. They don't have many figures, but I'll keep an eye on them to see if they have any more. I'll put a link in the description below. Check them out. They do have a few of these still left, as well as the Garrison Troopers, and I think they also have Desert Rat, but he probably won't last much longer. So taking a look at the box that we haven't seen before, nice big open display window here, some nice artwork. Trigger Series 2, Figure 2, and then on the back here are the other figures. So I don't have Rollout, I don't have that version of Sergeant Slaughter or Duster. I do have the Scarab, and I also bought the Garrison Cavalry Trooper with this figure. So let's open him up and take a look. Okay, so here is Trigger out of the box with all his accessories. Starting off with the iconic Action Force stand at the back here. Really liking these stands. I'm so glad that they include these. He also comes with a ton of hands, 2 fisted hands. All action figures should come with fisted hands in my opinion. He also comes with 2 cradling hands, 2 holding hands, and then the 2 trigger finger hands which are on the figure. He also comes with this very nice headset. This is very nicely sculpted. The mic, however, does seem a little bit flimsy, so I need to be a little bit careful with that. But the sculpting is very nicely done, and even has black on the inside, and it's hollowed out for where the ears would go. So we'll give that a go in a moment. That's very nice. And then he comes with a massive machine gun. I don't know much about weapons, so I don't know the name of this. If you know, please let me know in the comments. I'm just going to call it a massive machine gun because that is essentially what it is. And something I really like with these Valaverse figures is the material they use for the weapons. It's this sturdier plastic, and it just shows not only when you pick it up, but also with the sculpting. It just has a slightly higher finish to it in my opinion. And the paint applications are also really nicely done. Matte black, and then this like desert tan. And this also comes with a magazine, and that fits in at the bottom. And you can actually feed the rounds into the chamber. Look at that. And then he also comes with a stand for it. That just clips in on the front, and that's articulated. So real nice weapon. And then he also comes with this sidearm. Now I have seen this sidearm with one of the other figures. I think Condor had the same sidearm. It would be nice to see a few others. However, you know, I guess you got to get as much out of your tooling as possible, so it's not a big deal. It's just matte black. I guess for this sort of figure, I would have preferred maybe a Magnum or something. Just would have seemed a little bit more appropriate. I don't know why, it just seems that way. So in terms of accessories, really nice. And I guess you could also include the webbing as an accessory, because playing around with it just now, this actually is completely removable. It just has this clip here, so you can actually take the webbing off. So I guess that would count as another accessory, and this is really nicely done. It's all sculpted in this soft rubbery plastic. These are separate pieces. I don't know if they are removable. I don't want to risk it. But it has 2 at the front and then 3 at the back. And as I said, there's a peg in that one, and I think there's also a peg on this one. Yep, so you can take it off. Paint applications are also very nice. This olive green and then this darker green accents for the clips. So really nice. So accessories, very good. Okay, so taking a closer look at the actual sculpt, I really like this sculpt. The beard is really well done. It would have been nice to have a wash, so it just emphasised the hair, but it's just a minor gripe. Maybe in the future they'll give him a grey beard and do an old man trigger similar to what we've got with Outback in the G.I. Joe line. I wouldn't be opposed to that. And then the sunnies are really nicely done, the silver trim and the black lenses, and obviously the reverse baseball cap. And they've even gone that extra mile and sculpted in the details of the cap, and they've put in the Action Force branding on the actual cap itself. Yeah. And then moving down the figure, just removing his webbing, taking a look at that tank top underneath. So it's actually very subtle, but it is sculpted in texture and in all the creases as well. So really nicely done there. And the actual webbing itself, so as I said, it's completely removable. It has these 3 pouches at the back and then 2 at the front. I think that this is the same webbing that you get with the second version of Sergeant Slaughter. I don't have that figure and I'll probably pass on it unless he drops down in price. Not that he's expensive, I just think unless he's on sale, I probably won't pick him up. But this for me is a first, so I'm really happy to have that. And then the arms are really well done. The sculpting on the muscle is just top notch. He is completely pinless, double jointed elbow there, and then bicep swivel. I have blasted him under the hairdryer, but he's still a little bit stiff. He has a butterfly joint at the shoulder. The only thing that's a little bit unsightly are the shoulders. That's the first time I've come across that, and yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I suppose if you had him posed with his arm kind of up, it's not a big deal, but if you had his arms by his side, yeah, that's a little bit of an eyesore. Hopefully that's something which they'll improve in future waves. Not a major issue, but it's definitely something which I'm not a fan of. And then moving down, he has the typical crunch at the core. It is somewhat restricted because of the webbing, but taking that off, it's not going to be an issue. And then full rotation at the waist. He has drop down legs rather. He has a cut at the thigh, double jointed knee. He doesn't have the boot cut, which we've seen on some of the other figures, but he does have the standard rocket at the ankle. And then looking at the actual fatigues, they're really well done. Not just the paint application, but also the texturing, the sculpting. It certainly doesn't disappoint. And then these huge hefty boots that he's got, they've even sculpted in the treads. Very nicely done. And then his holster for his sidearm, and then his field medipack. I think that's a medipack, I'm not entirely sure. So this is a very cool figure. I don't know why I waited so long to pull the trigger, no pun intended, on this guy. I think when I saw him, I just thought he doesn't look like he fits with the other Action Force figures. But actually, that's kind of what I like. He kind of sticks out a little bit. He's definitely on the Action Force crew, but if you wanted to, you could easily have him working in the Garrison. So very nice figure and definitely unique. And for a quick size comparison, here he is next to Karak, and here he is next to the classified Gung Ho. So my final thoughts on the Valaverse Action Force trigger. I have to say I was wavering a little bit with this line. I felt like I'd seen most of the good figures, and although I'm excited about the third wave, there wasn't really anything that was just sticking out as an absolute must-have. However, this has changed my opinion. I did see Trigger and I just passed on him. I'm not entirely sure why, but now that I have him in hand, man, what a great figure and a fantastic addition to the line. If this is anything to go by, then I'll absolutely have to go back and pick up Rollout, Duster and all the others, because there's just so many hidden gems that you really can't appreciate until you actually have them in hand. So if you've enjoyed this review, then please do consider subscribing, give it a like, and until next time, take care.